You fight your way out of the eggshell's confines, your beak tapping relentlessly against the inner barrier. With a sharp crack, you finally push your head through, then slowly wriggle your body out, emerging damp and downy, stumbling into this brand new world. Your sibling felt the harsh mountain wind before you. It huddles close, its tiny body trembling slightly, letting out weak little chirps. But right now, you have no time for it. The struggle of hatching has drained all your strength. You just curl up, catching your breath, feeling the rough twigs and soft lining beneath you, and the strong wind, carrying the scent of the high altitudes, blowing past the nest's edge. This is the clifftop, your first home. A few moments later, some strength returns. You alertly raise your neck, curiously surveying your surroundings. This vast nest, high up, is scattered with tiny bones and bits of dried fur. Your sibling edges closer, tentatively opening its soft, young beak as if expecting something. It stares at you for a second, then, with a beak not yet sharp, gives your fluffy head a testing peck. You flinch instinctively. Was that a warning or play? Perhaps this is just the overture to survival high in the eyrie. A great shadow falls, darkening the sky. A powerful figure lands on the nest's edge, its gaze sharp, talons strong. It lowers its head, using its mighty beak to tear off a small piece of fresh, still warm, red meat, dropping it precisely before you. You immediately open your mouth, instinctively swallowing this life-giving energy. The taste is wildly sweet and gamey. You don't hesitate. Next, your sibling gets its share, swallowing just as eagerly. The fleeting fullness brings calm. You huddle together, feeling the warmth in your bellies, content. But in an eagle's home, peace is always short-lived. Time flies. Your body expands rapidly. Beneath the downy fluff, stiff feather quills pierce the skin. Growing plumage hints at the future. Your legs and talons become thicker, stronger, allowing you to wobble along the edge of the wide nest, testing the abyss. You start to flap your wings clumsily, feeling the wind's resistance, imagining the taste of soaring. But your sibling is also gathering strength. The instinct for competition never fades. Every time a parent returns with prey, a small commotion erupts in the nest. It always tries to claim the better spot, jostling you with its body, driving you away with its beak. At first, perhaps you choose to yield. It always seems bigger, faster, hungrier for food. Patience seems like a survival strategy. However, the rumbling emptiness in your belly, that primal desire for survival, is quietly changing everything. Finally, one day, that unbearable emptiness burns like a fire inside you, telling you there's no retreat. When a parent lands again with prey, perhaps a plump rabbit, your sibling pounces as usual, trying to claim it all. But this time, you don't back down. You lower your body, eyes sharp, and lunge, extending talons not yet fully mature but strong enough, grabbing at the base of its wing while pecking hard with your beak. It cries out, looking at you in disbelief, eyes wide with shock. After a brief standoff, it counterattacks furiously. You tangle together, tumbling, biting, batting at each other with your wings. The small nest becomes an arena of primal strength. For a moment, it's an even match. But neither of you is willing to give up this right to survive. You tear harder, feeling its resistance weaken, even if just a subtle sign. Eventually, exhausted, you separate, gasping for breath. The most tempting piece of the prey lies between you. You seize the chance, rushing forward with lightning speed, clamping down firmly, and swallowing it quickly before it can attack again. Your sibling can only let out a resentful cry nearby, staring at you, breathing heavily, but it doesn't try to challenge you again. This is the first time you feel you're no longer the weak one waiting for handouts, but a member of this eyrie who earns status through strength. Next time prey arrives, you know how to fight for it. The seasons turn. At some point, your parents' behavior changes. They no longer deliver prey directly to your beaks. Instead, they circle overhead or perch on nearby rocks, watching you with sharp eyes, but offering no food. You feel confused, letting out the characteristic pleading cry of a fledgling, hoping they'll bring food as usual, but only the howling mountain wind answers. A clear signal forms in your mind. It's time to leave the nest. Truthfully, you've been preparing for this. These past months, you've spent countless times practicing hopping and flapping at the nest's edge, feeling the lift of the wind, even achieving brief moments of hovering, almost leaving the nest. You've long since imprinted every move of your parents' graceful soaring and swift hunting dives in your mind. You also understand the first real flight comes with risk. Falling is almost a necessary rite of passage. Every young eagle must face failure before conquering the sky. You stand at the edge of the nest, a chasm below, strong gusts ruffling your plumage. Your leg muscles are tense, a subtle tremor running through them. The wind fiercely tugs at your wings. For a moment, you even consider retreating, waiting just one more day. But the instinct for survival tells you you can't wait any longer. You spread your wings, feeling every feather poised, take a deep breath of the high-altitude air, and then you leap. Reality is harsher than imagined. The fierce wind instantly engulfs you, throwing you off course, your body tilting uncontrollably. You flap desperately, trying to regain balance, but it's futile. After a dizzying spin, you crash hard against a protruding rock face or tumble awkwardly down a rubble-strewn slope. Your parents circle overhead, calling encouragement, their gaze urging you to rise again. You shake the dust and leaves from your feathers, ignoring the ache, and struggle back onto a slightly higher rock, spreading your wings once more. This time, it feels a little better. You manage to glide for a short distance on the wind before losing balance again and tumbling to the ground. Attempt after attempt, fall after fall, each one bringing new aches and frustrations. But the eagle bloodline within you forbids giving up. Finally, on one attempt, you perfectly catch an updraft, a thermal. Your wings find their purchase, spreading steady and strong. You feel it. That long-dreamed-of immense power lifting you towards the sky. The air currents carry you higher and higher, your body feeling light. You are flying, truly flying. The feeling is incredible, unparalleled. The mountains and rivers below shrink rapidly in your view. For the first time, the wind is your ally, carrying you to explore this vast expanse. Your parents fly alongside, calling out proudly in response. Your heart pounds in your chest. You flap your wings harder, joining them, merging into the boundless blue sky. However, learning to fly is just the first step to survival. Now, you must rely on yourself to find food. Long hours of circling expend tremendous energy. Hunger returns. You patrol the skies, your eyes like daggers, scanning the forest, meadows, and rivers below. Soon, you lock onto a target, perhaps a squirrel darting through the trees, or a fish flashing scales in a stream. You fold your wings, adjust your form, and dive like an arrow, the air whistling past as your speed increases. In the final moment of approach, you thrust out powerful talons, precisely grasping the struggling life. Sometimes, you're drawn to the remains left by other predators on the ground. Several of your kind might already be gathered, a tense standoff or skirmish over the food underway. You assess the situation, choosing the right moment to descend. Larger eagles intimidate each other, spreading their wings, issuing sharp cries, battling for the prime parts. You lurk on the periphery, patiently waiting for your chance. When an opening appears, you dash forward with lightning speed, quickly tearing off a piece with your beak. The meat might no longer be warm, but it's precious energy. You devour it quickly, constantly vigilant of your surroundings. Here, every bite is hard-earned. You might not realize that, as an apex predator, your very existence shapes the ecosystem below, regulating the populations of other creatures. But right now, all you think about is how to survive in this harsh world. One clear afternoon, you're soaring low over a winding human road, searching for potential prey. Suddenly, a strange scent drifts into your nostrils. Not carrion, not the scent of live prey, but mingled with a hint of something edible. Curiously, you descend, circling to observe. Beside the road lie some man-made, brightly colored containers and packaging, some seemingly spilling out leftover scraps. You hesitate, but the lure of potential food eventually wins. You land cautiously on the rough ground beside the road, your talons gripping the gravel. The food scent is stronger now. You warily approach an open bag, giving it a light peck with your beak. The bag rips slightly, revealing some chunks of processed meat inside. Just as you think you've found an unexpected bounty, a deafening roar suddenly erupts. A monstrous shape, a car, rushes past you with a powerful gust of wind. Terrified beyond measure, you instantly launch into the air, wings beating frantically, narrowly avoiding the iron beast. Shaken, you fly high, watching the beast speed away, leaving behind a trail of dust. The food is still there, but you now feel a deep wariness towards this area, towards the human contraptions that make such terrifying sounds. Next time, you'll be more careful. Towards the human world, you always maintain distance and caution. Time passes. You are no longer the fledgling of yesterday. You are fully adapted to this sky, have mastered the hunt, learned the cruelty of competition. Now, a new deeper urge stirs within you, different from hunger. It's time to find a mate, to continue the bloodline. You begin to display in the sky, performing dazzling dives and spirals, letting out loud, powerful calls, announcing your presence, attracting the gaze of females. Finally, you find her. After a series of complex aerial courtship rituals, perhaps synchronized flight, perhaps daring talon grappling games, you confirm your bond. Together, you select a site on a high, precipitous cliff face with an expansive view and begin to build your eyrie together. Trip after trip, you carry sturdy branches for the base, then carefully line it with soft grass, moss, even animal fur. It's a monumental task, embodying your promise for the future. Weeks later, in the center of the nest, lie two brown speckled eggs. The miracle of life is incubating within. You take turns brooding, carefully covering the eggs with your body warmth, cherishing this fragile hope, while the other hunts, storing energy not just for yourselves, but for the new lives to come. Another dawn breaks, heralded by the faint sound of cracking. The first chick struggles out, covered in sparse white down. You and your mate watch gently, carefully clearing away the shell fragments. Soon, the second chick joins the family. The days become a blur of activity. Feeding, keeping warm, guarding against predators. You fly tirelessly back and forth between the nest and hunting grounds. The chicks thrive under your devoted care, their calls growing louder, their plumage filling out. Soon, they too begin to stand at the edge of the nest, taking wobbly, tentative flaps, their eyes filled with longing for the sky. Fledging season arrives again. You lead them out, into the familiar sky. They follow behind you and your mate, their flight skills raw but full of life. You soar together, enjoying the freedom. In the distance, a row of man-made towers stands, connected by cables stretching across the landscape. It seems like a good perch, a place to overlook the fields below. You glide towards it first, landing steadily on one of the cold metal wires. Your mate follows, then the two excited, curious fledglings, awkwardly adjusting their stance, also landing on the wire. The family rests for a moment, preening feathers. At that very moment, a subtle vibration you've never felt before travels along the wire, accompanied by an almost imperceptible hum. Then, a blinding arc of electricity erupts violently. An irresistible destructive force instantly surges through your body. Your muscles seize, talons clamped tight, wings spread uselessly. You don't even have time to cry out. In the corner of your eye, you see your mate, and those two children who just learned to fly suffer the same fate in the same instant. Their bodies convulse violently, then go limp, losing all signs of life, falling like broken kites from high above. Your consciousness fades rapidly. The last thing you see is the vast sky, now cold and silent. High above, other eagles still circle freely. They won't know of the silent traps hidden within this seemingly open sky. As a king of the sky, an eagle's life is filled with challenge and majesty, but also fragility. Believe me though, on this planet, there is another creature whose fate is perhaps even more twisting than what you've witnessed. Watch the next story. You'll discover a completely different world,